man.
Why does my internet hate me so?
Hello, Lee. Welcome back.
Hello, me. Um, I don't know where I left off, but I'll just
I was
repeat.
running.
Yeah.
Wait, never mind. I made it.
You made it sound very dramatic because you were running and suddenly you went, ah! And then you disconnected.
uh, uh, internet did go to poofs. Yeah, as you run toward the corridor, you turn, you see the door handle, the door knob slowly turning from the inside, and you see everyone there moving into the hallway. What's your movement speed?
Me?
Yes.
30 feet? Do my prehensile legs add to that, or am I making that?
No. That's
Yeah, I'm
you.
making it up.
I think you get climb speed because spider climb, but beyond that, no.
Oh, I do, yes, but that's it.
So as you turn that corner, you go running. You see the others are definitely going to be the first person she sees when she opens that door.
No!
What do you say or do? Because you are not going to get there in time.
Wait! Stop!
Stop it.
Free drinks downstairs!
That does not work.
Go.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What are you saying? You're just listing out things. You're not giving us a...
Help! Wait! Free drinks! Ah!
Yeah, those are all I'm saying. Wait, no, stop! There are free drinks downstairs. Go get them.
I'm ignoring her.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And the door
Well,
handle
are we all
turns.
walking here?
Me and Trafalgar in the corridor.
Mhm.
Like,
Right. Okay, fair enough. I'll
You,
just say I'm
you by
just
that
about
point would be
to-
getting ready.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm getting ready.
As the door handle turns
Ah!
and opens up,
I could
Asatari.
do a spell, I could do a spell.
You could. You've got 1 second left. Come on. What are you doing? The door slowly opening.
I could do a mage hand to slam it shut.
Oh my god!
It should be stuck in there, but I'd feel bad.
She gets
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna do
halfway. Just poof.
I know, a mage hand and it's gonna hold the door handle closed until I can get to it.
Okay. So you throw it at mage hand. Mage hand slams against the door. Just as Esatari, you turn it and you start to push, and then you feel it kind of like shunt against itself, and you're just like, what's happening? And then,
Oh no.
and the others, you all hear the sounds of a door being pushed open, very, not forcefully per se, but with an effort and a confusion. And then you see Anessa come running along and kind of just like block your path, and then you drop the mage hand, and the door suddenly just swings open a little, and there, looking totally not dishevelled from all the running, with a lovely breakfast and a lovely little baby juice and a dandelion, you see Anessa before you. The first person you see this morning. How about that?
I present her with the plate. I brought breakfast.
What the
There's
fuck is
like
going on?
I just say I'm a little wide-eyed, mouth open a bit, like what?
I just look at the chorus.
I'm just gonna move into
And
vision.
Charlie, like, morning, guys.
I'm gonna move into vision and drag them both out the way and say, okay, breakfast to go. We need to talk now, and start leading them downstairs.
Well, it's not really
Where she
okay.
came from. No,
Oh.
breakfast talk.
I don't mind. I got there in time. It's fine. But I just
Succeeded.
okay.
I'm just letting out like a bit of like, but what? Why?
And then everyone suddenly carted off.
And then
Dragged away.
as we're walking past, if Brewin's not out of the room yet, I'm just gonna say, Bree, when you were active enough last night, hurry up.
Will I be ready, Lee?
What the fuck is going on this morning?
I mean, it depends how much effort you want to put in, because I know for certain if you had that much fun, you'd just be like, yeah, one leg at a time, I'm good. And then you start
Yeah,
hearing
okay,
her
yeah,
shouting.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Put some boxes on and then just go down.
I was gonna say the robe and nothing.
Is this
Yeah.
you? Is this you peering by my door by any chance, Aaron?
No, this is what I would do.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it nice and slowly at the time, and then as I hear like chorus, does she come to the door, right to the door,
No,
or
I
is she
kick,
just shouting
I
this?
kick the door as I go past, and I'm shouting.
Okay.
Lycoris is one of those parents. She's just like, if you don't get out of bed! And then, incoming shoe.
Wait, is there another shoe being thrown at me?
No.
Surely not.
That's just me.
Fair enough. Well, as she does that, I'll just shout back, going, "Bloody hell! I'm just getting some trousers on."
He puts one foot in front
And then
of
I'll quickly rush and get a shirt on, get the shoes on, just start hopping towards the door while getting shoes on.
Okay.
One boot firmly, and just the other one's just not quite going on.
Just like hopping while you're trying to put it on. It's like, God damn it, come on.
Pretty much like one of those programs at the late schoolgirl, just hopping along, just trying to get a shoe on.
With a piece of toast in the mouth.
Piece of toast in the mouth.
Pretty much.
So,
Well, in this case, there's something on Brewin which I don't think he's realised.
What?
Which I've messaged it to Lee, but it's whether Lee.
Covered in cum.
Ring on.
Hey, Lee, did you see? Did you
Yep.
see the message version?
Yeah. As
Bad holiday tattoo.
Yeah, I got butterfly
Love
tattoo.
light,
Yeah.
I got a butterfly tattoo on my lower back.
of course.
You got some
That
big
is
old
now canon.
pinkies.
That is now canon.
Yeah.
As he finally waddles out of the door, you see knotted very carefully into his hair what looks to be a rose, one of the black roses, and it's placed finely enough that you can't see the back of the stalk, but you can still see the rose in the hair, and it fits weirdly well with him.
What the is going on?
You said it audibly, and Brewin's just gonna raise an eyebrow and be like, "What's wrong with you?"
You've got a flower. She was bringing her a flower.
And which Brewin just sort of like pats himself down and just sort of looking like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Forget it. I've got to
We
say
all
you
know
guys
this.
something.
Oh, don't you look handsome?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
Oh,
it's
bitte.
Thanks.
less talky, more listen.
Somewhere more comfortable than a hallway.
Let's go downstairs. I need to order another plate of food.
I sigh and walk down the stairs. I'm gonna link my arm through Oralins as we go past and bring her down with me.
At first, she seemed like she was occupied keeping an eye and letting her staff know who, what, where, and then you hoop your arm around her and she goes, Oh, good morning again. Oh, where are we? Oh, okay, I guess, okay. And then just starts to follow you down the steps.
Oh, she's used to it by now.
Oh, yeah.
Which Brewin just sort of looks and be like, "Is she like this every morning, or well, I don't know, morning?"
Morning, dear. And, well, honestly, yes, for the most part.
Which I would just shrug and just sort of like stretch as I'm walking down the stairs and yawn.
So, as you all reach the ground floor, you find a nice table that you can sit on that's been cleaned, and kind of form a round table situation for the most part. Some of you are a bit dishevelled still, some of you just straighten yourselves out for the most part. You each grab a seat, and the table is yours. Who starts?
Right. Well, morning, guys,
I would like to begin this conference by saying,
girls, ladies,
Right.
gentlemen.
Morning, morning.
morning.
This is the moment you waited for. I'm gonna start by saying, last night somebody took something from me, and if it was one of you guys, give me it back.
Okay, okay.
Was
let's
it
move
your
on to,
virginity? Because you can't get that back, I'm afraid.
let's move on to the important stuff, Trafalgar.
I'm telling the story. So somebody took something from me last night. When I realised, I went looking for it, and when I went out, there were 5, 6, maybe more Apex members
What?
next door at Iltzamar's.
What?
And yes, those weird guys that jumped us in the alleyway trying to find Brew in here. And then I'm gonna look over at Orland and just look back at Brew and shake my head and like forget it. And well, yeah, they were at Iltzamar's, and I overheard them say that he was just one guy. He's not too much trouble, or more trouble than expected. But they have the necklace, so why are they back at the bookstore? And then I chased them off with the help of some guards, but scared for my life, I spent the night hiding, which, like Chorus this morning has told me, was wrong. So, if you have what you took from me, please return it. And yeah, that's the story.
Firstly, you should have got drinks for this sort of conversation. And secondly, I really don't believe the second part that you fought off, well, cultists.
Didn't say
With
fought
guns?
off, said chase them away with the help of some guards.
Are you sure you weren't just watching the guards chase them?
Look, I was out there, you were in here singing still, doing more from the looks of it, so when I tell you I helped chase them off, I helped chase them off.
Alright. You're just a bit touchy this morning, fair enough, I wasn't that. Okay, you're back. Okay, fair enough.
So, I want my things back. And what do we do about these guys? They were just next door. How do you know they didn't spend the night in here and see Brewin?
Well, if they didn't see
Raises
Brewin, they'd
raises
be
the
very by that condition.
Which Ben after sort of like Brewin sort of like grins a little bit to himself. He goes, "Yeah, even if they were cultists, I really don't think that they knew it was me. Especially in some
Nice.
cases."
How long does the disguise last? Like, do we have to top it up, or like, is it looking a bit dishevelled, or?
Is the makeup all gone from the amount of sweat?
Yeah,
The
I
makeup's
mean,
definitely come off.
the
Yeah.
makeup definitely doesn't last through that. So, especially not 7. Fucking hell.
Which Brewin raised an eyebrow and goes, "I forgot."
You
Wait.
don't know how much effort he was putting in.
Might have been very minimal. I mean, he was drunk. His recollection of it might be very different.
Which Brewin goes, "I wasn't that drunk," and secondly, it was just definitely more taxing on my stamina than usual. But saying that,
Yes,
It's
sorry,
like-
like, you still like this guy.
considering with the breakfast, it seems I wasn't the only one who got lucky.
What?
Yes, yes, you're all getting lucky. Great times, but Eltsamar could be dead. So maybe we should stop talking about who got their dick wet and start focusing on the fact that someone could be dead.
Did the guy wear a necklace? I don't recall seeing a necklace that he wore that they had from him. took from him.
He runs a shop, for crying out loud. He probably picks up half the shit that he has from his journeys.
Yes, all the books. Yes, all those books.
It wasn't just books. If you actually looked around, it was probably more than books, probably artifacts as well. And probably even stuff that he had in his secret quarter.
Secret quarter.
How long were you in that shop for? Because
Well,
most shops, to a degree, probably at least have a back house of where they store gold and personal possessions. Was that raided by any chance?
well, it looked like it had been tossed over a little bit. Not too thoroughly, though. I mean, it was pretty dark in there, so...
Oh, can I roll an insight check?
Yeah.
While Brewin's giving him side eye, can I just say, and you definitely didn't do any of the sacking yourself, did you, Trafalgar?
Firstly, for the insight, if
God damn
you,
it.
yeah, spill the beans, my dude, spill the beans.
Which, when you said, which I sort of like side eye him and go, they didn't really ransack it properly. How would you know that?
Well, I had a bit of a look around myself.
Oh, really? That's come on. Which
Trafalgar,
Ruben just
we had a
puts his hand on his head.
Look,
It's
like I said,
really
it was-
petty to
it was
think that a
mostly-
shopkeeper stole your drugs.
Well, I didn't say drugs were stolen from me.
That seems to be the only thing you seem to
didn't say
care about.
drugs. I didn't say drugs were stolen from me. You told me not to bring those in here. That's not what was taken.
Considering we tell you not to steal all the time and you still steal,
I had this
I really
conversation
think-
with you last night, Trafalgar.
That was
that's a bit awkward.
different conversation.
Which at this point, my foot,
Look, the point is,
full
I had a bit
attention.
of a look around. There were mostly books, some paperworks for some properties and things. Nothing of huge interest to me. And did I see any artifacts and things? I didn't, did I?
No.
It was mostly books.
It was
Yeah.
mostly books. There wasn't much detail that you could make out, even with the minor light that
Like
you
that
had.
I had, yeah.
Mm.
So maybe he has a secret safe somewhere filled with artifacts and things, but it was bookshelves, bookshelves, scrolls, bookshelves.
Aside from that, was there anything else you were doing? Because you sounded like you probably got more busy than I did.
No, I chased them off, and then when the guards were chasing them off, I stepped back, returned to my room, and I spent all night in my room.
Hiding
Is the
under
thing.
your bed?
Hiding in my room. I can't actually remember where I said I was hiding now. I
It
said I
was.
slept on the ceiling.
You were literally...
Yeah, literally. Like dagger ready, hugging the ceiling, just like, come on, motherfucker.
Step through that door, I
which
have you.
Freeman sort of looks at,
I have the high
looks
ground.
at you fully in the face and just goes, you really can tell that you are royalty. You really do not like confrontation.
Don't mind confrontation. I'm not royalty.
Hey,
Can I
oh,
notice?
yeah.
I want to look at Esatari and see if I can notice her looking at that.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
not
just gonna
royalty. I
adjust.
just like to live and be alive.
But
Which getting
Rhoda-
messed up with your friends is not going to happen for long.
Yeah, but I think Iltsamar likes to be alive and live his life, but that might not be happening anymore because you decided to have a fucking nap.
Iltsamar is not my problem.
Well,
Looking at Esatari
you
and I
kind of
say,
help her.
where is Ultima's shop? We're going.
You hear probably from anyone in the party that's been there, as well as from Orlinth, say in unison, next
Next
door.
door.
Oh. I start walking out.
And as
I want to be sort of guiding Esatari by putting my hand on her back too and say, we'll go get him.
who's heading out?
A hand a little bit.
Behind. looking behind at everyone else like, are you coming or what? Are you going to stand there arguing all day?
Everyone just sort of like stands up and is like, huh, sure. Which Brewen looks at himself, and did you say that the disguise is currently off?
It's a little muddled. It's not like you can tell immediately that it's you, but if anyone knows you well enough from that order, they'll tell it's you. Normal
Which
members wouldn't have a clue though.
Which Brewer just sort of stands up, looks to himself, and just goes, I don't look too, conspicuously like my old self, do I?
Just spend some time disguising him before we go, aren't we?
Which Brewer
Does he look
would
like-
just say, Brewer would just say, just go without me, I'll catch you guys up.
Well, do you... I guess the people here did a good job of disguising him, didn't they? Okay. Get yourselves cleaned up. We'll see you there.
Right.
So, as you patch up his disguise a little bit, you each get a little bit of food and drink in you, and you head toward the door. Is there anything you want to do before you head out? At the moment, I'm assuming it's all of you, so correct me if I'm wrong.
I wanna grab Oralinth and just pull her away. And
Mhm.
just say, you need to be on high alert. I mean it.
Hmm.
No clients.
Is this as bad as having nobody in, not opening tonight? Because unfortunately some of my little ones need the money.
Open, but you take no clients.
Done. Mostly they're all filthy little perverts that I can do without tonight, so... Still. He, and then you already know he's talking about Trafalgar, is not going to be allowed back in here if this continues. I will not have people stealing from not only me and my people, but from my neighbours. He has one chance. He either gets clean in every facet while he's here, or I turn him over to the Full Moon Order, and they will deal with him.
I'll keep him under control, just... No clients. Do not leave the property. And if anything is dodgy, just go and lock yourself in my room, and you know where I keep the weapons.
Not even the fun kind, but yes, I do. Don't worry, my dear. Worst case, if I am put to that point, I have a few tricks I can deal with myself, but I will be careful.
Tell the girls to be on guard, and the boys. Any mention of an apex? Any mention of it at all?
No, don't worry, I'm already fed up with their general existence. I've already told them to not consort with them, for the most part.
I'll just nod. Give her a little pat on the hand. And then I'll follow the others.
Good luck, my dear. And then she gives you a little wave away. And returns to her business. Anything else?
Before we leave, I want to go and grab the chest and the stuff. And I want to ask Orlinth or like Chorus whether Kialia said where she was staying, where she and my brother was staying. I don't recall that information.
I have the address. It's in Hightown.
And I think I'm going to drop this with them for now.
I'll come with you.
Okay, yeah. You have a share in it, so of course.
Were you waiting for you guys? Because, like, we're just going next door.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of making us invisible so we can go and check it out. without being seen?
Well, I would imagine we'd tell you where we're going. Seeing as someone's already missing and we don't want everyone thinking more of us have gone missing.
Yeah.
So Brewin's getting his disguise started. You guys are going to High Tab. I know that Ezatari's going to be fidgety and distressed until we find out what's happened. So
you
I
two are
suggest
going.
that we go now.
You two are immediately going next door, and everyone else is
Well-
doing their own bits.
We're going to do like a recon thing.
Hmm.
See if we can see if anything's happening.
Okay.
Any signs of him.
So, as you two head out, technically speaking, because it's you that dealt with Bruin's assorted makeups, once you finish touching it up, Bruin, are you headed with them?
Sure.
Okay. So as you three head out with them two and Orlinth busy at the moment, we can actually use the map finally instead of staring at it for the fucking 1000th hour. Woo. Okay, so you three right there, and these two behind the border. As you head up towards Iltzimer's shop, you don't see at first, because you have a wall in the way for the most parts. But as you get up the staircase along the top right, you see in front of his shop a guard has stood there blocking the entryway, just looking around. You kind of make out what looks to be more guards on the inside of his shop. They are currently searching for presumably evidence as to what happened.
Are they? Do they seem like they're on our side? Do they look like the people that
They do
the
have
police people?
they do actually have the guards' outfits on, like the
Right.
symbol of the moon as well. They're wearing mostly what looks to be like pieces of near skin tight plate, and they are all very like lithe and dexterous looking for the most part. You can see long
Ooh,
swords on their
nice.
belt.
Nice to add to your harem.
Oh yes.
Always looking to collect.
Hmm. Right. I'm just going to suggest that Harry. It's pretty lively in there. Do you want to ask them if they know anything? Or do you want to get in there ourselves without being seen?
It's probably worth asking them.
Probably. We know exactly what to cause trouble, considering Trafalgar was poking around, didn't he? He might have even left the trail behind. So we don't want to be breaking in and seen as the suspect number one if we're caught.
Okay. I will start walking up to one of the guards. Say, oh god, I should have asked the time to speak. Oh, is the shop closed today? I was hoping of looking for a book of sorts.
I'm sorry, madam, but the store has been ransacked recently. We are currently investigating. You will have to come back some other time.
Oh, and what about the owner? My friend here is a good friend of his. What was he called? Your friend?
It's Iltzimer, and I do not need to act concerned because I am.
Mhm. Is he all right?
We know not of the happenings of the keeper. All we know is sometime late last night, people came, broke in, and had a rummage, and seemingly took something from his chests or his safe. And then
Oh.
another group came along and started chasing down said individual. That's as far as we got. And then we, a member of the Midnight Watch, chased them out. Beyond that, we're not sure. If you can bring any information to us or the guards, that would be most welcome.
There's no sign or trace of the owner?
Unfortunately, we are waiting for the guild mage to come and perform some kind of necessary sorcery to find it out. But
Right.
no, as of the moment, I apologize.
Oh, and I mean, my friend here does know him rather well. Would we perhaps be able to come inside and take a look ourselves, see if we
I'm
can
a-
find any clues?
I'm afraid not. Unless you are official, nobody is allowed in beside the guard or members of the service.
Ah,
We cannot risk contaminating it even more than it already has been, unless it's an official hand.
well, I guess we wouldn't want to contaminate anything, would we?
Like whoever stole something from the safe.
Which Brewin sort of like
We don't
speaks
know
speaks up a little bit and just says,
Oh, are you here too? I thought you. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, Brewin, when did you get here? It's like, I've been here the entire time.
Brewin speaks up a little bit. He goes, bit of a bit of a far-fetched theory to just say this, but do you reckon it's anything to do with the Apex? Because they've been quite lively lately, from what I've been hearing.
Unfortunately, I know nothing of this matter, but there was supposedly suspects wearing the regalia of the Apex Faith, yes, though this is mere speculation. I'm sorry, but I cannot entertain it unless it's strict, hard evidence.
Fair enough. It's a shame, considering how much trouble they seem to be causing us of late.
Do you think Guild Mage will arrive?
It could be within the hour, it could be two. They need to collect whatever resources for their scribing and scrying powers.
Yes, and when where is this Guild Mage? Where does he live?
That
she?
I
Are they?
am not aware of, unfortunately.
Really, no chance that we can have a look.
I'm afraid
I'm
beyond.
worried.
I'm
Can I
afraid beyond
suggestion him?
looking through
Yeah, I
the
was-
window. If you want.
I was gonna go persuasion.
So who's doing what?
Well, can I? What's your persuasion? Have you got good persuasion?
It's +4.
Mine's +6.
Oh, nice.
I can try persuade him, and then I mean, you'd probably be. Would she get advantage of persuasion since she looks very concerned, or should I go for the persuasion?
Not
I'll just walk out.
exactly. Depending on what she says, but it have to
Okay.
be pretty good.
My sincerity not come across.
Well,
It-
if you want to try and persuade him, then I can go in with a suggestion if that doesn't work. But do we want to contaminate it? Do we want to go in?
No, I
with
guess
it?
not. That's what
what I was thinking.
Yeah. We do want them to succeed, except not too much because Trafalgar was there.
Do we know that Trafalgar was there? Did he tell us?
Right.
You-
Yeah.
yeah.
He did.
You don't know the specifics of what he did, but you know he was there last night.
Right. Well, how
And
many
we need
guards are there?
Trafalgar.
Because would I have to suggestion all of them, or
Well, it depends on what exactly you do
suppose
to
I could
get
word
through.
it so that he lets everyone else know that we are allowed?
Mm.
That's the thing, isn't it?
From what you can
Okay.
see at the moment, anyway, there's the initial guard at the door, and then there's at least 3-4 more people on the inside. You don't know if
Okay.
there's anyone upstairs, though.
Right. Can I'm gonna like do a little. Oh wait, if I message, I have to say it out loud, don't I? Because it's verbal.
It's like a whisper, but you do have to say it out loud.
That'll be weird if I start whispering in front of guys.
Stop muttering. to
Never mind.
yourself.
I won't message. I won't message. I just give Ithatari a little nudge, just like persuade him. Go on. Squeeze your boobs together. Add him to the harem.
Add
That's
a
gonna go down
guard.
the stairs. Right.
Oof. Oh, I didn't have it open. That's not bad.
What do you
No.
say, to be fair?
I'm just
Right.
looking, tears in my eyes. It's just if it's gonna take a couple of hours before the mage can even arrive, if something's happened to him, I'm just so worried. Is there no way we can have a look?
Look,
Even if we don't touch anything.
I'm on duty. Under normal circumstances, I would quite happily let you at least gaze inside. But I cannot, under an official capacity, let you through. I am sincerely apologetic. You can look through the window, but beyond that, no one is allowed beyond this point.
Understand? You have a job to do. I respect that, and hopefully it'll be with your and your colleagues' help that he will be found.
We hope so.
So we can go look through the window then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you really want to get inside, we'll look through the window, see if we can see anything, and then if we can't, I will suggestion him.
Okay, both you make perception checks.
Peeky peeky, sneaky sneaky. I'm not very good at that.
I'm not rolling well today.
Oh fuck.
So
That's not good.
you both look inside. There is these dim candle lights lighting up the place enough so that the guards can look around and you can sort of see as well. For the most part, though, it doesn't really seem as if there's anything that jumps out at you as to say, oh, this is where he is, and you can see piles of books that once were, normal stacked piles of books that are now tossed over, but for the most part, for you, Esatari anyway, it doesn't look too far different exactly. It's roughly about the same tip that it was before, but books are now actually all over the floor, not just piles out of the way. The only difference is that there are now guards here, and there are what look to be like scuff marks along the stairs inside of the room, but that could be literally just someone struggling or charging up the steps. Okay. Yeah.
I'll speak telepathically to Riwin
Mm-hmm.
and ask them, so do you think it's best to wait until the mage guy comes? See what he finds?
It would just sort of like side eye him and just sort of like look somewhat natural and just sort of like lean against a tree and just message back, just saying, at the rate we're going, it's probably the best thing, because, well, the Moonlight Order seem to have somewhat things in check when it comes to investigation, but they can't exactly examine it fully, unlike a court mage. Could, from what I hear anyway. Plus, if we meddle anymore, it could look quite suspicious. Yeah, you are very genuine with your concern, like you should be, but anyone else from the outside could find that very conspicuous. So we just need to compose ourselves as well as we can, and I hope the court mage is able to do what he can. If not, we'll have to investigate other methods.
I'll agree with him. That you're probably right. Hopefully it won't take too long for him to arrive. And I'll guide Anessa away. And then just say, thank you very much for letting us have a look. I just hope it all gets sorted out. To the guard who let us go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, do you each head back to Orleans?
Yeah. May as well, because to our knowledge, Lycoris and Trafalgar are doing their own thing, so it'd be a bit silly to go off God knows where else and basically not really find each other till later, because anything could happen between now and then.
I mean, in fairness, with the time they were getting prepared, you guys going to the shop and back again, like, would be in roughly about the time they would be finishing up.
Oh, fair enough. Well, we'll meet them back at Orleans then.
Yep.
As if everyone's in an agreement.
Sounds
Yep.
good to me.
So, as you three head back in, those two are currently making their way down the steps toward the door. Of course, a giant bulbous something or another currently nestled very gently along Trafalgar's back, which you've all seen that shape before. You'll get your bits. Is there anything anyone needs to do before you head to Hightown?
Nope. We need to
Nope.
get our fancy clothes again.
I mean, yeah.
Have we come back from the store?
Yeah.
Okay. Did we see anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to do something ballsy.
Oh.
Oh.
Can I go and get my old uniform and put it on?
Uniform.
Yes.
I'm gonna go
Is
put
it
my
slutty
old...
maid?
I was not a slutty maid. I had many jobs.
That could have been one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I've still got the picture of it.
Is it? Is it
I sent
the?
it to you ages ago.
Oh, actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm scrolling.
Scrolling.
Ah! How do I get back to the beginning? This one.
Just reading my thing quick. God damn it, I've got to pin some stuff. Oh, right, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay then. Do you want to... Yeah, that. Freaking super speed. So yeah, you spend the time to get changed into your official wear. And once you've outfitted yourself, you start making your way down. Orlinth gives you kind of a sultry wolf whistle and watches as you head down the steps to meet your party once more. With, I assume, everything in tow, you all head to the door, and as you make your way out, boom, you're all dead. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Rocks fall and you all die.
Good campaign, everybody.
Thanks for playing. As you each leave, you walk out into the streets of the low town. You look around, everything is, for the most part, as you'd expect, the same. People are walking by. Not very many in the area at the moment, as it's technically speaking closed for the most part. You make your way out. You go toward the main road. Start walking your way up the long road toward Hightown. You see assortments of people in alleyways that are kind of looking as you go past. Some of their faces obscured by the shadows. The sounds of an inhalation of assorted substances as you go by. And eventually, about 20 minutes go by, you meet the front gate once more of Hightown. I assume, as it was noted, that you all put on your fancy gear.
Uh-huh.
My adjusted fancy gear. Just change a different shirt.
Okay.
Well, actually, I do look different, so I'd say the gear's alright. I just wouldn't go over the top with the scarf round the shoulders. I'd just probably wrap it around the waist, underneath the coat.
So, you each get to the front gate. You see the little guard post to the left of it. The gates, of course, are sealed and closed. You see someone sat down at the guard post who doesn't clock you at first, and then his eyes sort of drift slowly, and he's got very lazy, tired eyes, very short, like patches of hair that are missing as well. Looks very old for an elf to some extent, not greyed or anything, but in the rough human 40s. He looks over toward you, just regards you with a little nod. Who is going to speak to him?
Like Chorus, right? She's taking the lead. She knows where we're going.
Fine.
Well, what's he doing?
He's just sitting at his post, his head poking out a little bit to look over toward you all. He can see you're there, but he seems to be just waiting for you to do or show or say generally anything.
Hello?
Right.
We need access.
Okay. Do you have identification or...
We're here to see Kialia Dayride.
Okay. He kind of sits up, disappears behind the wall of his guard post, and you hear him slowly shuffling along. And then, after a couple of seconds, you hear him muttering something, seemingly to himself. And a couple of seconds more go by, and he goes, okay. You hear the shuffling coming back again, and he sits down in front of the guard post, looks toward you and goes, I said you're welcome in. I'll open the gates. He then shuffles up again, slowly moves his way out of the guard post, and he walks incredibly slow. It's a good 20 seconds before he even leaves the guard post. And then his arms behind his back arched just a little bit, and he shuffles toward the gate, places his hand on the gate, and pushes it lightly. And then you see a long slice down the middle of the gate open up, and the gates creak open for you. And then he turns around, steps out of the way. Welcome to Hightown.
I will give a respectful bow and start walking through.
He gives you a little nod in return. And then as you all walk through, he places his hand on one of the parts of the gate, and they slowly close and seal back up again. And as he turns around and looks toward you all, he goes, I don't suppose one of you happen to be... And then you see he looks at his hand, and goes, licorice?
Yes.
Kialia said that she'll meet you in... and then you see he turns his hand over. The Fleetwood Rotary.
Understood.
And then he just gives you a nod and slowly shuffles back to his little guard post.
I will give it another bow and carry on through the gates.
Okay, so as you walk across the bridge, no biggie. There is a cart that's travelling along it as well, for once. Looks to be some kind of noble house of some kind. You see what looks to be the symbol of a set of roses that are spread out from each other, with what looks to be thorns. And the curtains are closed on the inside of it. The servant who's guiding the horses along just looks toward you each and gives a respectful half bow, and then returns. Carries on with the horses toward the gate. As you all head toward the centre, you see the little mausoleum that is currently closed for some reason or another. The little well in the middle, as per. And you head off toward the rotary, which is not very far whatsoever. As you get to the front door of the Fleetwood Rotary, you kind of look around, you look inside, you don't see her as of yet. But then you hear a kind of heavy foot of a clanked armour almost. And you see with a small entourage of what look to be soldiers, but in light robage, more so than armour. But nonetheless, they are like battle ready should they need to be. They're not really carrying their swords with an intent or anything, it's more just dangling by their sides. And she walks across the street with them. She stops for a moment as she notices you each, gives you a small nod, turns to them, gives her seemingly farewells, and then they depart. She walks toward you all and stops roughly like 10 feet or so away. Well then, hello again. I see we're all wearing rather fancy garb for this one. What is it we need?
I'm just gonna elbow Trafalgar.
I was hoping to maybe leave something in my brother's care for a while, but just crossing the bridge, I've realised there might be somebody else who could handle it for me. If you could maybe point me in the direction of, hang on, I need to check my notes here. Lilipa? Is that right? Is that how you pronounce that, Lee?
1 second.
Lupilla? Lupilla?
Lupilla.
Lupilla.
She goes, oh, well that's, I'm not sure why he would do you any favours, but, I can point you toward his, mansion, though you see her eyes drift up, and then she looks toward the mouth of the mountain, and she kind of just points up. Lupilla kind of lives in, well, the nest. That's not going to be easy for you to get to. I can't even get there.
Isn't that where your mother lives, Lycoris?
That is where Lady Germain lives, but
So
I have no sway there.
but we were up there the other day, so it wasn't too hard to get up.
We were up there with the good graces of Angelina.
Not to mention, there's sort of a weird interconnecting thing. There's a system where only the noblest families live by the mouth of the cave, and you were probably at what's equivalent to her summer home, if I'm being honest.
So how would I get up there to drop this with him?
That is a good question. Lupilla, for a bit of context's sake, he was at your brother's party. Well, not so much of one, let's be fair, but...
Could you not just send him a note?
I don't think that's gonna work.
I can probably ask some of my people if they can contact one of his lesser people and go from there for a chain of command, but it's gonna take a while. They don't exactly read fan mail often.
No. And Kingsley and yourself couldn't escort us up there?
We we have no such sway. We only know Lupilla through that one event and correspondence between family business, but your brother wasn't exactly part of any of that business.
Perhaps. Perhaps someone could send Angelina a message.
Yes.
And hold on, wait. Did you say Lady Delane was your mother? I don't
Bio-
really want to pry, but
Biologically speaking, yes.
ah, so it's a rather sordid family affair. Okay,
One of many.
well, I don't have much expertise in that, but I think she's probably your best bet at the moment. Again, we don't really live here. We're only here temporarily, and we only have a decent house because, well, we had the money.
Yes, I understand that. So, I'm not sure why. You know what? Is Kingsley around? Could do with speaking to him. I read Mother's letter as well.
Well, I think he's off at the training grounds at the moment, but I can probably take you there. At the very least.
That would be
Which-
appreciated.
Which Bruin sort of like nudges Trafalgar and just say, "You're not going to try and hire your brother as a bodyguard now, are you?"
No, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, the Apex seem to be after you as well, so...
No, not me.
Well, they chased you out of the house.
No, you weren't listening this morning. I chased them out of the shop.
Sure thing, mate. And Bruin's just going to walk ahead past you.
I'm gonna look at Anessa Tari, like, who's been saying things? Who told him that I was chased out?
I don't know where this came from. Clear my throat a little bit. We best follow.
So,
If you lead the way, then please, Kaelia.
as she begins to strut forward a little bit, as you're all following, you kind of just take in the sights a little bit, seeing the streets that are beautifully paved. There are carved statues here and there. The houses begin to come into light as you move along the streets. It goes from less fancy shops to more, housing areas. You see large spaces between each house, and they seem to grow in size and have different, backgrounds on them. Some look like they have a very Theronic style, which, for the sake of our context, would be kind of like a Chinese infused theme for the most part. Very bright, colourful. There are lanterns lit gently out the front of the house. It has a very warm and welcoming vibe for the most part, though there is gates that bar from entry. Walking along the streets, you see assorted, again, more noble figures. The further along you go, the less comfortable some of you feel, as there are stairs. Not of disgust or anything. You are looking very fine, all of you. But there is some of them that are giving you those glares of, I've never seen them before. Who are these people? They can't be trusted.
Are we anywhere near Magata Mansion?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
That's fine.
and as you continue on, it's about another 20-30 minutes or so. As you're walking along, you finally reach what looks to be this large open area that has been constructed into a fighting ring of some kind of about 100-foot width and height. There seems to be some kind of stationary area at the back for people to gather their equipment, to clean, to shine it off. There's a small basin for water. There's assorted tools for preparing one's gear, fixing it in general, a smithy in general. There's what looks to be some kind of hearth at the back as well. And as you reach the place, it's opened to the public seemingly. It's slightly barely touched. There are a couple of soldiers that are currently walking back and forth, and they are currently like forming a ring between what looks to be two people, both shirtless, one of which is your brother, and the other of which seems to be a large oh fuck, forgotten what they're called.
Goliath?
Thank you, that's the one. A large Goliath, like nearly twice his size, enough to be considered a giant.
Is he fit?
Oh, he's like built like an actual brick shithouse,
Nice.
and he's like throwing these massive wind-breaking punches toward him, and the brother just like with this weird, almost martial arts style. As the punch is going near him, he's dropping down a little, throwing his wrist and arm up, pushing the wrist of the Goliath's away just enough that the punch strikes too far above him to cause any trouble, and then he goes for a kidney shot multiple times in a row, and the Goliath eventually takes that as a, okay, well, if he's just going to keep doing that, and starts to just like flail and quite literally rages, starts to swing punches in such rapid succession and doing kicks and thrusts toward him. He even tries to bite him at one point, but with the speed that he has over him, he very quickly gets around him with next to no effort, grabs him around his waist, and kicks off enough to slam the Goliath's head into the ground with a good old boulder slam. And with a 1-2-3 KO, he stands triumphant, holds up a hand for the Goliath to stand up, helps him up. They kind of give each other like hearty fellow soldier pat on the shoulder. And then Kialia just, the entire time, is just like rolling her eyes, steps into the ring, gently pushing people out of the way. And as she comes into view, he looks toward them all and goes, "Ah, well, as much as I enjoy showing off, everybody, if you wouldn't mind, just give it 10 if you would. Now, of course, it couldn't just be your beautiful visage, could it, my dear? Hello, brother. What is it you need this time?"
So cold, brother, and I thought we left things on warmer terms.
We did. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit occupied, and I feel those warm terms left you a bit open to asking for favours. Now tell me I'm wrong on that.
Well, no, you're right. I do need a favour.
Well, go on then. Might as well.
Since your dear wife, my new sister, tells me I won't be able to get up to the nest anytime soon, I need you to hold on to something, maybe drop it back home when you're next passing, if you could. It's very important.
How, and take as much offence as you feel like from this, brother, how much trouble is this going to be for me? Because, if I'm being frank with you, I don't want to get invested in whatever illegal activities you've got yourself into.
I don't think this one's illegal. It's just valuable.
I think that's probably worse, but can you even tell me what it is?
It's a. I'm gonna step right next to him and unsling.
Okay, wow, it's that bad, is it? Never mind, I don't want to know.
No, brother, please, just. And then I'm gonna unsling it off my shoulder and show him. Just open it up enough so he can see that it's the weaved chest.
Mhm. Do you actually
It's-
open the chest?
No, I don't open the chest.
Okay.
No, I just show him that it's that chest. So whatever is inside is valuable enough to warrant a chest such as that. And I'm
Mm,
hoping that he knows what that is.
brother, I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at, but it's very shiny. Good for you.
It's a magic chest, brother.
Oh.
Very hard to open unless you know how.
So,
And what's inside is very important.
mm,
And it seems that my travelling companions, and I'm going to look off my shoulder at Brewin, are attracting some of the wrong sorts. Namely, those apex cultists that you chased off the other day.
oh yes, they were. They didn't really seem all that scary, to be honest. But I suppose when about 30 of them are chasing you, it would happen.
So, do you think you could take take this off me and keep it safe? Drop it at home for me, maybe?
I will be as frank as plausible with you, brother. I will hold on to it, but I'm not keeping it and taking it on the journey home. I cannot afford to risk whatever it is could come of it. Not to mention, there is no guarantee I will get it home. I will look after it while I'm here, which, judging from Mother's summons, as he reaches into his pocket, holds out a letter and flicks it around a little bit, and then puts it away. I will probably be going home in a couple of days, so you have roughly 3 days, I would say. And then I'm out.
Is that the same letter that I received?
Oh no, God no. This is just
Separate
Mother
something.
telling me to
Okay.
come home and get business sorted.
Okay, because we do need to discuss that letter. But, well, Bert's in jail still?
Oh, yes.
Unless you sorted to that?
He'll be out later today. Don't worry, I'll deal with him. He got a slap on the wrist and told if he ever uses the stuff again, etc., etc. You probably know the rules by now.
Yeah, someone gave me a similar talk.
We paid a hefty fine, by the way, so don't get caught.
I very rarely do, brother.
Pawning off
But
your problems on others.
You'll be glad to know that my little stash went missing.
Well, good.
Which is why I don't want this to go missing.
I'm gonna smile in the background.
And well, if he's out tonight, I think I will stop by and we can discuss the letter. I might actually visit home again, because I'm assuming DeMarcus had a similar letter wherever he is. You said they're on?
I believe so, but again, with him, he could be anywhere in the world at the moment. That's the last time I had correspondence.
So it might be sooner rather than later that I do make my return home.
Well, if it's in the coming days, you can come with us.
Then yes, I'll leave this with you for now, and then I'll speak to you again later tonight if he's out. I hope. Either here in Hightown or, well, you know where I'm staying in Lowtown, right? So Kialia does.
I was going to say, he immediately looks at Kialia with that sort of, and she just gives a slow nod.
So we can, if he's out tonight, you know at least where to find me. If I don't turn up here first, or wherever you're staying, you're gonna tell me where you're staying.
No, brother, no, I'm not. And then Kialia immediately goes, we're staying at the Echo Inn. It's just down the road. You'll see it if you walk about 5 minutes. Let's not be difficult, my love. We have no time for it.
No. I appreciate it. It's been a long time since we were on good terms, so cautions. But
Well,
I'm alright to leave this with you. Then I will be on my way and cause you no more trouble for now. I can't say the same later when Bert's around.
Don't worry, he's on house arrest. I'll make sure of that. And then he kind of turns around, looks at all of the, what you presume by this point are guards, and he just nods toward them.
And yeah, that's alright with you, Lycoris, if I leave this here, right? You do have some say over this.
That's fine.
Cool. Then thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. And I'll speak to you later. And I'm gonna turn and
Ruin
make my
sort
way
of
out
like
of the courtyard area.
Ruin leans in as you turn around and just say, "You might put your brother in high spirits to know that his fellow younger brother has chased away the Apex Faith in quite the valiant manner."
Well, why don't you go and tell him that? Maybe.
I say it quite loud so Kingsley does hear. And say, why don't you tell your brother about that valiant moment of yours?
Why don't you
No.
step into the ring with him and you can tell him the story whilst you're sparring a little bit? I'm sure we'd all like to see that, wouldn't we?
Which Bruin sort of looks at Trafalgar as he says that and goes, "Please, does it look like I'm a fighter I weave spells for crying out loud?"
Then you can weave a decent story, I imagine.
Do it.
Combat against any one of you but Lycoris will end very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too old for petty fights.
Yes. Well then, brother, I will say, while I will keep hold of this, and for the most part I promise it's security, I will make note where I'm gonna keep it will have pretty much next to no involvement with me. It will be safe there, but if anything happens to it, I take no such difficulty from you. I'm immune to all of that. As well, if you don't come back before I leave and take it off of me, I'm just going to give it to the authorities. So, there's your ultimatum.
You're leaving in 3 days. I will collect it before then. And if not, you know where I'm staying. Send it there.
Brother, I barely trust you. We had a good moment, but that does not
No.
change everything. And yes, I could do it. It would be next to no effort. I can hire a person to do it for me, but it isn't the point. I need to know that there is trust between us still. This will be a simple thing. Pick it up before I leave. That's all I ask.
Make that note in capital letters, man.
Yes, that's fine. You guarantee it's almost perfect safety until I pick it up from you within 3 days before you leave.
Good. Then we have a deal.
Yes. And I am trusting you to keep it safe.
And I am trusting you to not fuck me or Kialia over by giving it to me.
No, you are safe.
Well,
Nobody.
safety isn't
nobody-
really where I was going with that. More so, I don't want our family to be drawn into it somehow.
And then I shall say the family is safe from this. It's, as I say, just the Apex seem very interested in one of my party members, and I give the evils to Brewin again. And I
Which
don't
everyone at this
want-
point just looks at you and just say, you may as well just outright say they have a problem with me and you.
No problem with me. They don't know who I am.
They chased you out of a bar for crying out loud.
I chased them.
Sure, you keep telling everyone that.
And as you can see, brother, he's quite troublesome, and I just don't want to lose this valuable thing because of those people.
Oh, fine. Fine. As long as we stick to the agreement, I will do my part.
Yeah. Then we have the agreements.
Well then, I have sweat drying on my person, so I'm going to go and brush off a little bit. I will probably see you later, brother.
Yes. I shall see you later.
He then turns around, heads off toward the crowd, and just kind of like grabs two of them by the like throws his arms around and just starts getting all chummy, and yeah, just continues like that. And Kialia just takes a few steps forward, looks toward you all. Well, what next then? I can try to send that letter to one of Lupilla's men, if that's still what you want.
Yeah, if you could do. I mean, I can. If I'm staying in town longer than the 3 days, if I don't join you on the trip back home, then it might be nice to be able to drop it with him in that time. So if you could send that letter, that would be hugely appreciated.
Well, I'll do what I can. I'll send a courier with a message for you if anything arrives from it. If not, well,
3
Yeah.
days.
3 days.
Yes. Thank you, Kialia.
Mm.
Sister.
Please, the whole sister thing. I've too many brothers. Can we just be not professional about it, but just not that
Friendly.
friendly?
We can be friendly, yeah.
Hmm.
You don't sing together and not be friendly. I shall speak to you later then.
Goodbye, Trafalgar. Try
Goodbye,
to stay out of
Kialia.
trouble if you can help it.
I have Lycoris with me, so she's gonna keep me out of trouble.
I narrow my eyes at him.
And I feel like at this point, if you do anything else, she's probably going to behead you, so I'd be watching
Well-
your neck from her.
Yeah, me too.
She gives a little tap to the side of her head, and then turns around and walks off towards Kingsley.
Take it easy on him. Don't show him up in front of his friends.
She holds an arm behind her back and crosses her fingers.
Oh, I do like her. She seems so fun.
Likes his brother's wife.
Oh, is this going to be a saucy affair? Nice.
So then, guys, that's my business concluded whilst I'm in town. For now. Anyone else have anything?
Well, I mean,
I have business in Hightown.
I just want to make some money.
I need to see an acquaintance.
You need company, or is that we should make ourselves busy whilst you go and...
Raises an eyebrow and just says, the way she's saying it with a bit of a struggle, she wants to leave, but she can't leave you unattended.
Yeah, You can just yeah. Come
I'll
on.
hang back. When you tell
Or
me
maybe she.
when you tell me you need me to hang back, I'll hang back. Just don't leave me with Brewin. He's in a weird mood this morning.
I'm not in a weird mood. You just seem unbelievably grouchy.
It's fine. The place we're going has many rooms, and you'll be watched. I'm just gonna reroute everyone towards Magata Manor.
Okay. So, as you all begin your march toward Magata Manor, it's a little bit further away. You head back towards where the Fleet Rotary was, and take essentially a long path around it toward then Magata Manor, which follows a street that gets progressively emptier and emptier until eventually all you can see is a crater ahead. But you see a building within that crater. And as you walk toward the edge, you slowly walk down the marble steps and you reach Magata Manor.
As we're walking down, I would just say to everyone, remove your shoes when we get inside.
You have
Yeah.
free reign.
I will just walk inside, take off my shoes, and wander forward until I see where Ishgari is.
Okay. You can see what looks to be a very tiny, very wispy plume of smoke coming from the main prayer area. And the scent of gentle grass and flowery aroma is coming from there as well.
Ishgari?
You hear the sounds of steps from across the way, and the head pokes out very gently. You see the very familiar bunny masked wearing Ishkari as he pokes his head out, fan in hand, currently wafting the smoke away from himself. He looks toward you and goes, "Oh, hello. Oh, you've brought acquaintances?"
Yes. Is he here?
No, actually, Origi hasn't been here for a couple of days. I think he said he had some business with some Lowtown thugs. I didn't really want to pry, to be honest.
Is he likely to return?
As in, is he going to be killed or anytime soon?
Either or.
Yes, and maybe. He usually goes days apart. I figured you two had already had your meeting. Or is...
No.
Oh. Well, you're more than welcome to come into the main prayer room and have some tea. I can... well, there's not really much I can do from here, to be honest, but... At least come and sit down. This is a bit of a distance to go, just for nothing.
I will nod and I will gesture to the others to follow into the whichever room has tea in it.
Follow the tea smell.
Zoom.
My natural instinct.
Tea.
Where's the biscuits?
So, as you... I'm assuming you two go in as well, so I'm just gonna... Yeah. So as you each walk in to the room, you see as he takes a seat down gently on the tatami mats. There's a tiny little pillow that he places down for each of you to sit on. He kneels onto his, a small tray with assorted, what looks to be herbs and little cups. He sits down for each of you. He notes which is which. It doesn't really have much of an assortment. It's mostly just normal tea, herbal tea, very basic green tea or just dark tea. And pours whichever you each require. Passes very slowly and gingerly to each of you. And as he looks over each of you, you see he kind of looks sort of, from what you can tell anyway, kind of looks past you. You can't really see his eyes. He sort of seems to look like past or above you for the most part. So, can I get everybody's names?
I'm just gonna sit and look at the others.
My name is Anessa. Pleased to meet you. Thank you for the tea.
Of course.
At this point, Brewin's just sort of like still trying to sit on the pillow thing, sort of like trying to adjust of how he's meant to really sit on it. Sort of crossing his leg, and he's sort of like sitting up and readjusting, stretching his leg out, and then he's like, Brewin. Thanks for the tea.
Of course.
Still shuffling.
Just, God damn it, can't get comfortable.
Just gonna look at the others like. Do you...
You're being
Look at
rude.
Tari, who's probably just staring at the tea.
Tari, thank you very much for the tea. It's lovely, thank you.
Just gazing off into the distance, trying to distract myself from all the bad thoughts. So I'm not paying attention to you. I'm sorry.
Do you
That
actually say
gremlin
that?
is Trafalgar.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a distracting one myself. I'm Ishikari. And then he looks towards you, Lycoris. I don't suppose it's secret who we served with?
Secret?
I'll just shrug.
Okay.
Oh, she has secrets.
Well, it's not really a secret. I just don't really know who to trust a lot.
Yeah, I feel that one.
Me and Lycoris both learned from Master Kyo. He was a rather excellent sword fighter. Haven't seen him in a while. She came by recently to talk about if and or when the last time was that I saw him, which has been a rather long time. But this was, well, his manor, his home from home, of a sort. It has a very special place in my heart, and I hope yours too. And I've maintained it to some extent. And I'm sorry, I'm pointlessly blabbing. But yeah, I'm Ishikari.
Pleased to meet you. So is this master of yours missing? Oh.
Well, I guess so, yeah. At the very least, he's not come back here for a while, and from what Lycoris told me, it seems like she's searching for him. So I guess either that or the horrible alternative.
He has links to the Apex.
Everyone raises an eyebrow and just says very sort of like, it's very slowly, he's like, sorts of links.
The last he was seen, he was infiltrating an Apex camp, as it were.
Mm.
I imagine he
It's not quite easy.
probably met resistance, but I can't imagine Must being defeated by simple cultists. He's much too strong for that.
I wouldn't quite say they're simple cultists.
I mean, in fairness, I don't know enough about them, but I just find it very difficult to believe.
I am studying him. Does he look elven?
You can't see the ears. He does have a degree of that air of wisdom to him, but you're not sure if that's just a natural thing he's had to learn or not. Make a perception or insight check.
I did a perception check.
So you did, yes. He's definitely elven. You can't tell what kind of elf though. At the very least, he's not a drow.
Does he have a resemblance to Ishi?
He, from when you saw his face, that one moment, he did have quite a resemblance to him. But it's kind of a loose one, really. It's more around the eyes and the way the hair is forming itself. It's similar.
Okay. I'm just going to turn to the others and say, before we discuss how we're going to try and find Iltsamar, I'm going to turn an elbow Trafalgar hard so he looks in my direction.
Yes, sorry.
Trafalgar, you are on thin ice. One more infraction in Lowtown, and someone has threatened to give you up to the Full Moon Order.
The who?
Who's the Full Moon Order?
You see as Ishikari kind of just looks in your direction for a moment, and you can't see too much emotion, but he has that kind of not quivering to him, but there's a slight fear as she says that.
Oh damn, boy, you fucked.
They're special troops that will keep you under control through, well, psychic enslavement. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what they will do. You've ruffled a lot of feathers. And I have done as much as I can to prevent any hints being sent their way, but if you continue to steal from people who we know, there is no way I can prevent you from being sent there. And once you're in, it's very difficult to come out as anything other than a food source.
And just tell me now.
I was made aware of it this morning. You do realise what the nobles here are. There's a reason why there's an entire order who psychically enslave people. Blood is very much on the menu for some of these nobles. And there's very few legal ways to get it. And the blood of criminals, there's a bit of a loophole there.
We came to a city that's wanting to feed on us, quite literally feed on us.
Oh, well, you wouldn't be fed on mostly because you're an Aranea, but unfortunately, you're an Aranea keeps sticking his hands in the wrong pockets.
And that's gonna stop now.
What a bloody better!
Which,
You are
Brewin
that-
just
Say,
which
You are.
Brewin-
it was on the line.
I tried to warn you yesterday and you ignored me. I'm telling you now, I've pulled as many strings as I can, but if you continue to act recklessly, even me and Ishgari combined could not prevent the full moon order from taking you.
They they hunted a friend of mine. He played with figures that were best left untouched. He was going to be the third fighter of, well, Ishii's style. I was going to teach him, but he tampered with some things. He took from the wrong noble, and they came in one day, took him out of his bed, did not give him a moment to reply. They just took him in the middle of the night, and I tried to ask what was happening, what was going on. You see, he grabs at the nose of his mask and pushes it up a little. You see his face. He's young looking and very gentle eyes. He pushes his hair back a little bit to see his little bits of the widow's peak. And you see as he pushes the hair back, there's what looks to be the start of a scar from the forehead back. You see the hair has grown over by this point, but you can kind of make out the scar continuing all across his head for the most part, stopping at a halfway point. And then he puts the mask back over his head. They took no time in nearly breaking my skull open to get him. They work in a jurisdiction beyond legality. If you are to be taken by them, the legs will send them. The legs themselves will give no interest to anyone's dismissals. The law goes above you. The only way you'll be safe from them is if you are from the nest. Or if you have very, very high connections somewhere else and they know about it. They'll escort you kindly. But needless to say, don't ever get caught.
And I will take out the soap. Just say, this shit stops now. And I
I
will.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Oh.
You're unreliable and unpredictable when you take this stuff.
I'm gonna stand up and I'm storming out.
Which, as he storms out, Brewin says, "And you say I'm the problem. You said I'm the problem, and I'm being hunted by the Apex Faith."
Storm out. Put my boots back on and I'm gonna go sit under a tree somewhere.
Under a tree somewhere.
I'm gonna pass the soap to Ishgari and say, dispose of this somehow, please.
He looks down at it, slightly confused.
It's a drug, Ishgari.
Oh,
A very potent, very dangerous drug, and that one has a crippling addiction.
okay. Well, I assume in that case then, he stands up, walks toward the door, holds it out into the open, and you hear him mutter to himself quietly. And then, for a second, there's this bright red aura that emanates off of him, and then you see the smoke billow as the soap in his hand is set ablaze, and the fumes from it billow up toward the sky. And then, as the last trickles of the flakes burn away from his hands. He dusts his hands off, turns around, and for a moment, as he turns around, there's this air of regality that wafts off of him, and then it very quickly fades. And then he looks toward you and moves back around the room and takes his seat once more.
Which Bruin just looks upon and goes, oh, it's quite a nice drink.
It's sort of my thing. Thank you.
Which Bruin just clicks his fingers and pulls up a bit of a little miniature fire and just goes, yeah, I dabble in magical components myself.
Oh, so you're a natural caster?
Somewhat. The guy who took care of me, well, discovered that I had a natural affinity for it, and, well, I wasn't cut out for sword fighting, so he was a bit pissed off. Because he knew nothing about magic. He knew one person who did know a little bit, but she could only teach me so much. The rest of it I kind of figured out.
That's why he was so touchy about the sword fighting comment earlier. Or the...
Which, when Bruin sort of looks upon him again, just goes, yeah, and the man who, well, wanted to teach me sword fighting is also the very man who, well, helped me get out of who kind of helped me get out of a encampment from the cultists of the Apex Faith. So if your master is as strong as I feel the man who raised me, it's going to be tough, but he may be able to get in. Which Bruin will give him a bit of a smile, a light smile, to give him hope that his master did fight them off.
You... sorry, can I just ask, who is this person?
I call him my old man, but because I never really had my parents separated from birth, but very man, his name is Merrick Angon.
You see, he kind of pauses for a minute. His head kind of moves around a little bit as if he's thinking. And he goes, where do I know that name?
Which Bruin raises an eyebrow and just says, you know of that name?
It sounds familiar. Hold on. One second, let me just check something. I think I wrote it down somewhere, maybe? Or I read it. Then as he walks out, you hear him taking steps off towards somewhere else in the manor.
I am watching him intensely.
Specifically, hold on. He will go over to here. Do you actually follow him out? Otherwise you lose sight very quickly.
I'll follow him. Whee!
Yahoo! So he goes through that door there, which is actually a steel door. Unlocks it with a key, walks through. Goes through this chest here that seems to be more so like a clothes hamper than anything. But there is a lock attached. As he unlocks it, he goes through. You see it's got an assortment of clothes pushed to one side with this block in the middle of it, and an assortment of books and notes and assorted scrolls and things on the left side. And he starts shuffling through them and picks up a book, and you see there's like a layer of dust along it, and he gently brushes it off and just blows toward it. Looks through the book, shuffling through, and goes, I know I've seen that name somewhere. Where is it? Eventually it comes to a page, and he has to like pry it almost, peel it off.
Ew, what's been doing that?
I knew someone was going to say it. And as he's like peeling, he does it very slowly and delicately, and loosens it enough so that it doesn't rip. And then he looks at it. Seems to have to like gently scrape off what looks to be like either some kind of moss or mold or something. And he goes, "Huh. Oh, hi, like, sorry, I didn't notice you. Master knew Merrick. I knew I'd heard the name before. He wrote him down in the book here." And then he holds up the book toward you, and as you look toward it, or even take it, you
I take
see
it.
there's a couple of names, none of which really look familiar, bar Lupilla and Merricangon. And at the top it says, "If in emergency," and then the next couple of pages note who they are, why he knows them, where he knows them from. And Merricangon is one from Janasta, and specifically it notes he met him in the forests around the capital, that he was a good help in getting, he doesn't specify what it is, but he says a precious cargo out of Janasta, that she helped him get precious cargo out, and that they had to fight off some of the cultists in doing so, and that in return Merrick helped him get a young child out from a bad situation. Beyond that, it just goes to note that they had to part ways at the borders of Janasta after their job was done, and that if someday he needed his help again, he would be able to find him in a small remote village called the Everlast, that's just outside.
Can
Mhm.
I scour the page to find any sort of date?
It doesn't look like it's dated. It might be for the case of protecting Merrick and himself from anyone finding them outside of that.
Okay, so they smuggled a child out.
Hmm.
Does it say whether the child was male or female?
It does not. For the most part, it's kept clouded on the specifics, but they smuggled the child out. And they also took a precious cargo out from Janasta, and they were attacked by the Apex in doing so.
Whilst I'm in the room with Ishgari alone,
Hmm.
could I just, whilst I'm holding the book, just say, who named you, Ishgari?
You see, as you say that, his mouth makes that motion as if he's going to say it. But then as he's thinking about it, he kind of gets stuck in it. And you see his mouth is still open as if he's trying to say the words, but he can't grasp it. It's like it's there on the tip of his tongue. I don't know. And
When did the master collect you? I assume he collect you, like he did me.
then you see again as it's on, almost like he's about to say it, but it never comes to him. I don't know. Why don't I know?
Could you take off your mask?
He turns and looks up toward you. He doesn't question why. He slowly pulls the mask up, places it on the ground beside him.
Okay, I've rolled a perception.
Oh,
I want to look for a proper resemblance. Now his mask is off and I can see his face fully properly.
there is definitely a resemblance, and it's not as if the test of time has changed anything. He is a little bit different to Ishikari, but that could sheerly be because of the way he's lived since without him.
And the fact that half of his genes aren't Ishigari's genes.
Pretty much. There is just something there that says he could be.
I am jealous. Okay. Can I keep this book? I won't take it with me, but whilst we're
No,
here,
of course. It's just gathering dust here. You can just take it. You see,
I'll
he's-
nod and tuck it into my like pouch.
as a note as well, that is Ishikari's personal adventure log.
Okay. Ishigari's adventure log.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Ishi's
Oh,
adventure log.
Ishi's.
Like, what am I talking about?
I was confused. I thought the person we're talking to is Ishikari. Who?
Okay.
What's going on?
I'm going to, as delicately as I can, say, Ishigari, do you have any pictures of Ishi?
Yeah. And then you see he rummages around in the box again, pushing some stuff aside, and he gets right to the bottom and pulls out this small, like, kind of looks like something you put a necklace in, just like, it's a very small box, and opens it up and holds it up toward you, and you see just what look to be like maybe 3-4 pictures. They are black and white. There is no like full color, Technicolor fun. It's a Ishi without his mask on, and he's not smiling, but he does have just this makings of what looks to be natural happiness, for what you know of him anyway. And the other two seem to be just ones of Ishikari, like very small, stood next to Ishi, and another one that's an image of Ishi with his mask on in a stance.
I'm just gonna take the one that I can see most of Ishi's face, and then just say perhaps you should take some time to look at these pictures by a mirror.
He takes them.
And see if he picks up the crumbs I am putting down.
He looks at them one by one. He walks into the room. He looks toward the wall. On the map, it's below him. And there's some very like small like hand mirror that's been gently placed along the wall at face level. And he holds them beside the mirror. Just kind of looks at it for a moment. And let's see if he can pay attention.
Does the penny drop?
So as he's looking at it, the mask's still off. You see as he's looking, he's sort of figuring it out as he's got the pictures to the side, and you see him tussling his hair about to be similar to Ishi's. And then his arm, as it slowly returns to his side, he moves the arm with the pictures to his side. He looks a little left and right, moving his face around a little bit. And then you see him kind of wince for a moment. And he touches the side of his head. You see this like vein that's pulsing very heavily. And in that moment you feel the opportunity to connect to him. If you choose.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do while connected?
No. I just want to. I want to connect and see if I get any sort of feedback.
So as you connect, and he's still in that like wincing moment, there is an immediate kind of like It's like a sensory attack almost. As you're connected with him, something in his head has just. I think the best word to give it is deactivated or been removed. A lock that has been left for so long has finally been shut off, has been broken. And for a moment you feel that pain as well and you wince. One eye still open, you're looking toward him, and you see as he gets over that moment, so do you. And as he looks in the mirror, you see as the hand with the pictures loosen. Why did I forget? Then he looks toward you and you see these little like baubles of tears start to run. Who made me forget him? And that I'm his son. Why? And then as he
Yeah, I was his brother, damn.
Did you ever consider it was a protection?
maybe, but why make it so difficult? I've seen these pictures for years. Why now? Why is it now only you're here that I got to finally understand? Why did I have to go so long without it? Why did I have to be in this house so strongly connected to the one person in this world?
I guessed the first time we met because the name you have is the name Ishi told us he would call his son.
You see as he kind of winces again for a moment, and you also feel the feedback from it. You also get this minor glimpse of him cradled in what you assume is Ishi's arms, and he is currently running from something, or at the very least he's running fast enough to be considered a problem. And then that memory fades.
Oh god.
You see what looks like Ishikari is cradled in his arms, completely like wrapped over and everything.
You've given this guy a breakdown.
And then as he comes back from that thought, he looks toward you. I assume this is going to keep happening.
Yeah. Sorry. That was...
Hi, Atlesia.
I'm gonna have a sudden realization that Oralint's told me that I shouldn't mention this to him. And now I'm wondering if she knew why. Because I didn't. But did she? Fuck. Okay, I need to figure that out. I'll just say... I'll let the others know what the diary said if you want some time to process. Or I can cause you a big surge of psychic pain, which will make the other lot of pain seem insignificant.
He does this half-hearted smile and just shakes his head. No. But do let your friends know that I'm I'm somewhat indisposed.
Oh man, I feel bad now.
He sits down on the ground, grabs the pictures and kind of looks them over. So what do you do?
I felt really bad.
That was a bad action.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go and like give him a pat on the awkward pat on the shoulder, like there.
Like a shouting.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know what I'm meant to be doing right now.
Very open hand turning, sort of like almost half head turning and cricking.
And then when I'm there, I'll remember how Ishi used to like ruffle my hair to make me feel better, and I will very robotically reach down and give his hair a little ruffle. Like, this is what used to make me feel better, so maybe it'll make you feel better. Oh,
As you do that, he doesn't seem to register for the most part. He just gets kind of lost into himself. But then you both feel another surge.
oh no.
And this time you see Ishi, what looks to be a burly man, kind of like a shaggy, wild person, in the middle of a forest, currently stopped. You can see what looks to be, again, Ishikari, cradled in his arms. But
And
the
Brewin.
image of a very young Brewin, currently unconscious, and
Fuck.
quite a lot worse for wear than you've ever seen him so far.
I'm just gonna gasp and say, you were the precious cargo, and Brewin was the child.
He slowly turns and looks up toward you, not too sure what you mean.
How old are you?
He kind of looks down toward the floor. I don't really remember at the moment. Roughly the 2, 3? No. I don't know.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna like ruffle his hair again. And walk back towards the others in like a zombie state. Like I don't.
It's like,
This is really good tea.
I'm gonna walk back in and without even
you,
like.
you say that, and Bruin's like, yeah, I can't quite say I've had
Bruin.
that tea before.
Brewin, how old are you?
Bruin sort of like raises an eyebrow and just says,
No, Brewin.
Personal?
Brewin, how old are you? This is really important.
he sort of like gulps his tea and just like, oh. Sorry, 38.
38?
Bruin just at some point looks very offended. It's like,
No,
what?
you can't. 38? No, that's not possible. That's not possible.
I mean, he does look good for 38.
Like
but-
horrors, like
Bruin's raising an eyebrow and just says,
No,
I'm not sure if I'm meant to be offended or not.
Brewin, the person that raised you, they rescued you
Yeah.
with my master and Ishgari when Ishgari was a baby.
What now?
My master
I'll remember.
missing for 300 years.
300 years.
Ishgari said he hasn't seen him for 200. But how can that happen if you're only 38? How was Ishgari a baby when you were a child? When you were saved?
I didn't really remember much about it. All I remember was being in a camp. And Bruin just sort of struggles. He's like, and waking up to Merrick trying to passing me a brew.
so confused.
Like, what's the big deal with how old he is?
Because Ishgari.
Which Bruin's at this point is
Ishgari.
like, why can't I remember that?
Ishgari is my master's son.
He
My
is?
master that's been missing for 300 years has a son.
Right.
Here,
Yes.
who was a baby
Right.
when Brewin was a child. If Brewin is 38,
And how old's the son?
Ishgari would be younger than 38, which makes no sense because the last time he said he saw the master was 200 years ago.
Damn. That means Bruin's really old.
There's a problem to your children in the next master class.
Something's not lining up here. Either Brewin is a lot older than he thinks he is, or Ishgari is a lot younger, and my master's just been playing fucking hide and seek for the past 300 years. No, that's not possible because the vision I had. Oh. Lycoris is just gonna start pacing up and down, like trying to figure out this fucking mental maths question.
And Brewin at this point has stopped drinking his tea and is looking very concerned towards Lycoris pacing and then looking at Esatari with like hope.
All I can imagine for Lycoris right now is that one scene from Sunny where what's his face has like got all the notes on the
Charlie.
wall and the pins.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlie the woman.
Brewin, come with me. Come here. And I'm just gonna drag him to Ishgari.
Brewin just tries to put down his tea and just barely
I'm
lands.
taking you with the tea. Everything in your hands is coming with me.
Which Bruin's like,
Yoink.
but the tea, and
Tea starts splashing a little bit.
I I grasp it properly, and I'm just like,
I'm just gonna like go through the door and I'm gonna say, Ishgari,
Yeah.
is he still awake?
He's still
Having
conscious.
a mental breakdown in the corner.
Ishgari, the child from your vision. And I'm just gonna gesture at Brewin.
and Bruin's just like at this point just scratching his face like, I'm in a what now?
As you walk into the room and he kind of looks over at you, there is no recollection, no A to Z moment between you. And then he kind of, Ishikari looks up towards you like with that sort of look of confusion. But then, for you, as he is basically completely open to you mentally at the moment, as you reconnect to him, he doesn't seem to click onto anything, but you feel there's like this almost like invisible strand of memory that's coming off of him that he isn't seemingly able to get purchase to, that you didn't feel was there before. Do you try to connect to him further and grasp it?
Yes.
Roll a d20.
Oh god.
Can you like damage him by doing this?
Oh, that's not good.
So the connection
Fuck.
can be made and you can get hold of the memory, but you will hurt him in return.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna say I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
gonna
no.
connect.
Roll 2d6.
Fuck me!
Which at
Oh,
this
now
point,
I rolled a fucking nat.
which Brewin at this point just looks and just says, what's happening?
So
Oh shit, Brewin doesn't know about my brain stuff.
Nope.
Fuck!
I don't think any of us know about it. You're talking about memories and visions and all this shit.
Okay,
as
please
you
tell
Start
me I
the
have
cards and that's it.
as you connect, you feel yourself pull at an invisible force almost. And as you grasp that memory, it's almost like you pull the pin on something, and there's this explosion of thought that comes between the pair of you. And 1,001 different images come at once. It's almost like a cinema reel is displayed in front of you. And you see the image of Ishi yet again from the start, running out of some kind of building and dodging what seems to be an explosion of power ahead of him, taking a quick dart to the left with what looks to be young Ishikari in hand. He turns, looks back, and you see what looks to be a gangly elder man, cloaked in robes and a very almighty priestly looking figure, pointing down toward Ishi. He very quickly gets back up, starts running. He doesn't have any weapons on his person. You can see the sheath, but with Ishikari held, he runs. After about 30 seconds of running, you see Merrick leap down from the trees in front of him, running as well with a young Brewin. And as they're both running, they look toward each other with that kind of knowing glance. They continue running, and then all of a sudden they're met with opposing forces. More members of Apex Faith. They take no time in both preparing a fist, breaking down anyone who steps in their way, and taking any hits they need to make sure that the young ones are safe. They continue running until eventually they come across this crossing, a three-way parting where a man with this curly kind of hair, a drow figure, is waiting for them. He's well robed. He has a runic symbol written into the ground beneath him. He raises his hand, strikes the air. The rune glows. They very quickly leap into the middle of it, which seems to be some kind of teleport. They appear in a darkened, cavernous area, which looks vaguely familiar. This cratered space. As they reappear there, the figure in the robes looks toward them both, is saying something, but you can't seem to register it, and there is a ringing, as if the senses you're hearing through are just dulled. They point off toward the distance, and you see a staircase, and as both Ishi and Merrick run toward it with this figure in tow, they move across very slow towards a set of buildings, and the first building they pass, a secret door is opened up. As they move through it, they then find themselves in another cavernous space, but this time of a dark black obsidian rock. And ahead of them they see a familiar figure to you, much younger in her years, your mother dearest, with what looks to be you in tow, in her arms cradled very lightly. She looks with a dour face, one unwilling for what's about to occur. The three children currently cradled very gently in the arms of their holders, their parental figures. They look toward each other, and they look back toward the figure that brought them there. The figure walks into the middle, holds his hands to his side, power emanating very strongly. A circle forming around him, another teleport of some kind, spiraling out. And as the three move toward the center, they place you each down gently onto the ground. The figure looks around at each of you, and another figure, currently hidden in the shadow behind your mother, looks forward and slowly makes his way towards the center. His figure is shrouded, almost intentionally, in a darkness. You can see his eyes are this wondrous crimson. And as he stands in the middle, as the spell is finalized, the mage, slams their hands downward, and you're each moved. As you come back to reality, this shadowed figure kneels down beside you, gently strokes your hair back, young like Roris's hair back, places a single kiss on your forehead, and then slowly raises a hand up. And as that hand is raised, the shadows drip down off of them. But as those shadows break down, so does the vision and the memory.
No!
A bad do has been made, it seems, and the 3 children had to be taken away.
What? Did Ishi see this with me?
He seems to be out of it, as you're kind of like pseudo-aware of your surroundings, but seeing this perfectly in your head. He seems to be struggling, as if he's trying to watch it, but he's having a hard time keeping it in track. But he seems like he has some degree of awareness.
I'm just gonna like collapse onto my knees and hold his hand and cry because I'm really confused.
Brewin just is standing there looking very disturbed and is just not saying anything.
What the fuck, Lee? Man, Brewin, you're old. You always mock me for being old, but you're as old as you're. Oh my god, you're older than me. You're the oldest now.
Well, technically
That's
you
the
don't know
most
how old
important
he is.
takeaway from this entire
That's the
game.
important part.
Finally, some
You
old
you say this, but well, you're just saying this to me. Brewin has no fucking idea.
I'm really good. So, you were carried by Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
Ishgari was carried by Ishi, and I was carried by my mum and some guy in a cloak. And my mum looked angry,
And
but
then
the dad liked me. And then we all got put in some fucking circle.
You sacrifices.
And then by the looks of it, another figure that cloaked in shadow that came past your mother when the portal was being formed joined you in the circle and went with you wherever you went, but then it broke down. You don't know about the rest.
And the cloaked figure was the one that kissed me on the head.
No.
The drow dude.
Oh, no. The drow's just the mage that put
The
you
guy
from A
with
to
the
B.
red eyes.
The guy with the red eyes is cloaked, and he came from the back of the room when you were brought there. He's a different person entirely.
So who kissed me on the head? I'm really confused.
The guy cloaked in shadows with the red eyes.
Okay.
It seems his identity had to be kept a secret.
So my dad is someone who has red eyes and is apparently half made of smoke.
Possibly.
The fuck even am I?
Is Trafalgar, and we're all related somehow.
Trafalgar's
fault.
my father?
Older. Nothing is as it seems.
Trafalgar's my father? I
Es-
married my father?
Essetar is my grandmother?
What the fuck?
That's how it's
Jerry.
all good.
now.
Jerry.
So me, Brewin, and Ishgari are the same age.
Maybe.
About.
So
Sounds of it.
my character is 521.
You have lived those years.
Brag much.
But how have I lived 521 years and Brewin's only lived 38?
Mm. The
Oh
question.
god, is this some sort of time travel question
No.
shit?
It's not. I
So they just-
I don't fuck with time travel unless the players are doing it.
He's lost his memory somewhere, maybe. 'Cause he
It's-
said he doesn't remember it, and neither did the other dude.
But
Okay,
why can
Lee.
I
I've-
remember everything?
Okay,
Mhm.
Lee.
Smart.
Not gonna lie, that secret you told me then is what the fuck?
Wait, how if I'm the same age as Ishgari, why don't I remember him?
Mm.
I was raised by my master, so how do I not remember his child?
Mm.
Lee's just
Was
gonna
I
do
raised
that.
by my master?
Mm.
Have you been mind? Have you been? Oh,
You've
Memory
had doubts in her entire
manipulation.
existence
Fucking-
now.
am I real?
Am I real? Oh my god.
Am I real? Yeah.
Look what
Yes.
you've done.
What am I? I thought I knew what race I was, but now I'm very confused.
You've given her existential dread.
Yep.
And I already had the normal type of dread, so now I just have double dread.
What's
Double dread.
What's funny
You become
is
Judge Dread.
what's funny is you, technically speaking. Oh no, I actually can't say it 'cause it's spoilery. Shit.
See, I was going
Don't give
through
spoilers.
I was going through my notes the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a bit where her mother said, "You should know who your father is if you paid attention to the person that raised you," and that really confused me because I was like, "Yeah, but my master's not my dad because we're different races."
Now
So-
it makes sense.
So was I must have been raised by someone else, but why do I think I was raised by the
Make an intelligence check for the love of God. I need to say words.
You
I'm so
you took our most
Ah!
clever character.
Oh my god.
Well,
so confused.
first and foremost, if you three are somehow linked, and he's had his memories fucked with,
Oh
Mm.
no. Oh no. Brewin hit me in the head with a rock.
that's not gonna fucking help.
Wait, are you
Hit me
saying?
in the head with a rock till something makes sense.
Are you saying this right now,
No.
or are you just
Wait,
saying this to
wait,
me as
no.
a comment?
Lycoris is currently on the floor sobbing into Ishgari's lap.
Oh, true. Actually, I'm just standing there looking like the fuck is going on.
I was gonna say, ew, that does not fit with our worldview of you.
I'm so. Oh god. Thank god I've got a week to process this.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, Bruin's just staring at you in
Oh.
shock and like, what?
Yeah.
So I could use my psychic powers to unlock Ishi's memories. So I could hypothetically do that to Brewin, but I can't do that to me.
Mm.
That's not fair.
Yep. Sucks to be you, doesn't it?
But can my mum do that? No, my mum wouldn't. Oh no, fuck.
She wouldn't.
I was gonna say my mum could, but my mum won't. And I don't think Angelina can. Which begs the question, why can I when Angelina can't if we've got the same mother?
There's just so much. Oh, I'm
Hey,
just,
man,
oh,
genetics.
I'm
No,
just,
It'll
but
be like that.
Yeah, but we have the same mother.
Yeah,
I have
and one of you could
abilities.
have blonde hair and one of you can have brown hair. Okay? One of you can unlock this ability and one of you can't. Don't
just-
be casting shade on Angelina.
I'm not casting shade on Angelina. I'm casting shade on my mother. Who the fuck is my? I'm so confused.
oh, this is so
I
good.
love it. I love the fact that I'm to do with this, but I have no fucking clue, and it is just torturing.
Brewin stood there like, oh shit, what the fuck just happened? Because Ishgari's in. Is Ishgari still alive? Please tell me.
Oh,
I didn't
he's
kill him.
alive. He's alive. Don't
Oh,
worry.
thank
Well,
fuck.
if anything,
that was
Brewin in Brewin's mind, he's just got dragged away by Lycoris, who just randomly started waffling out of nowhere, very uncharacteristically panicked, saying, my master knew Merrick, and to Brewin's mind, Merrick was the very person who was like a father figure to him. So all he has memories of Merrick is all the things that he was growing up with Merrick, and more or less, well, being told to be careful as he travels on, because Merrick felt that Brewin was starting to become old enough to try and conceal himself, and Merrick had the feeling that staying where I was there currently would not be very safe for very long. So the fact that then you've said that, and then you stood quietly, started putting your hand to
Ishkari.
saying nothing, and then suddenly breaking down into one knee and crying.
It's been a weird day.
Brynwyn's just looking like Jackie Chan right now, like, what the fuck?
See, the funny thing is, like, this is just another day. Yeah.
This is clearly just the tip of the fucking iceberg as well.
All I'll say is, I've named you, not officially in any part of the story. This is just what I've named you. The Unfortunate Three.
Great. So how are the others linked to us then, huh?
By pure coincidence.
Well.
Sorry, that seems like it's going to be fun with all this going on.
Well, Esatari's your great-grandmother, who is also Brewin's brother, sister, even. That makes more sense.
I'm fine with brother.
Yep,
man.
sexually the brother, yep. Who, in turn, is connected with Anessa by blood, through literal blood, because she's sucked her blood or something during the apocalypse, which she reverted by drinking her blood, obviously.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I get a fucking
Sounds
family.
legit.
And Trafalgar is
He's just the next door neighbour.
oh.
But we're the same. We are the only two that are the same race, and we're not related.
No, that'd be stupid.
That'd be too obvious.
Yeah, duh.
Well, at least I feel better that someone loved Lycoris. She had a pretty tragic backstory before this, but if someone loved her, that's pretty nice.
Who said they loved her?
She got a kiss on the head. You don't kiss a baby on the head if you don't like it.
That might have been part of the
I'm pretty sure
sacrifice.
that's standard behaviour with a baby.
That's the
No, no, someone loved her.
Like, I do not like children. I'd still kiss one on the head, you know.
It's because you were spoiled by your parents, and then you decided that you wanted to steal because you wanted more attention. Don't mean that you.
Shot fired.
Okay, guys, this wasn't the roast session. That's tomorrow.
No, it's turning into the roast session right in a right fucking now.
I'm gonna be at work all day tomorrow
Thinking
thinking
about
this.
it.
And when we watch Vox Machina, it's gonna be so hard not to be like, but Lee, what about?
We're going to be watching Vox Machina, and then Rachel out of nowhere is just going to scream and just go, "I can't take this anymore!
But why?
My fucking father!
I need to know now!" And then you're actually sobbing, and Kieran's like, "Lee, what did you do?"
By the way, just because I want to give this as a freebie, because it would be something you pay attention to, because this is your second time getting a weird vision with this place.
Okay.
The first time you got a vision from Ishkari, you saw a lot of blurred, shadowed figures in that vision.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So, enjoy.
What?
Did not help me.
That doesn't make
No,
any sense.
it didn't help any of us, it just
Yeah.
helped Rachel.
I think it makes sense to Rachel.
Because
but I'm
Rachel
not
knows
sure.
things that we don't know.
Ha ha. Ha ha.
History is a novel. She
Next.
tests Leon weekly.
You know what? Next session is going to be a clusterfuck of explanations about
Yep.
random shit. So I have to explain to Brewin why she's crying.
Yeah, best thing is, well, long story short, all I did with Lee on my backstory was mention a name of someone who looked after me, and I said, I don't really know what to do with this, but I would like this. And Lee was like, leave it to me, my guy. And then just went silent and then told me nothing more.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, and then with this unfolding, it's like, okay, I'm starting to see where this let me handle this, my guy is now reappearing from.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's honestly why I like this game so much. Because even in the other campaign, I was just like, yeah, Lee, this is like the basic outline of what I want. Make it work. And it's
Oh, this is why I love Lee DM. This is why I love Lee
so much better
DMing
than I
for me.
expected.
Yeah, see.
This is why I love Lee DMing for me full
Yeah.
stop. Ever since he got me into D&D,
Yeah.
it was like when I was first getting into D&D, Lee was like, Connor, use your imagination, and then was coming at me with like a metaphorical invisible choo-choo train that would be feeding me just the imaginative explosions in my mind of my mind being blown by the things that Lee was like, yeah, you can do that. Oh, by the way, this happens as well because you've said this, and I'm like, what?
I also want Rachel to DM for us for
Yes.
one time because she has such flushed out backstories. I feel like any story she makes in DMs is going to be awesome.
I've had both
has-
Rachel and Chloe DM for me as well.
I'm
they
an
were
awful
great
DM
and
because
lovely.
I'm terrible.
I'm not good with words.
No,
I
but you did
mean-
good.
I
You did
mean-
good, girl.
I mean, I literally stumble and can't find my fucking words, even though I have scripts here and there. Not often, I'll admit. And I still go, oh, what's that word? You know, the thing you sit on? A fucking chair. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
I had a whole one planned out, and then life ruined it.
Yeah. No, I
Maybe I'll
appreciate
go
all
back
of
to
my DMs, including the 3 people who are present here right now. You're all great and amazing.
Yeah.
Very much.
and Lee, and you wonder why I feel intimidated when you were saying you need to DM for me, Scrub. I don't care that you have other friends that want to play D&D.
Yeah.
You need to DM me first.
Yeah, damn right. Fuck them.
Just because how many times you've DM'd me and you've done an amazing job, and I'm like, can't DM for this man.
Connor.
No one can top this.
Right.
Like,
There's it's the Matt Mercer effect all over
It
again. Like, fuck that. DM the way you want to DM. If you want my advice, you ask for my advice. I'm not going to judge you the way you play the game in any facet. The sheer fact you haven't done one online, obviously you've done one in person, which or online. Was it online?
Mine was online.
Yeah. Mine was
Okay.
online. I did mine with my Discord, with my other Discord lot,
Which
it didn't go too bad.
which again, considering you had 7 people, again, you're a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, I had 7 as well.
Oh
That was
no!
crazy.
Don't do that to yourselves.
Yeah, I got told even though it was a really good first time DMing. I was like, oh, geez.
Hell yeah!
I think.
No, that is good, especially if there's 7 people.
Which I felt it was. Personally, I felt it was a bit slow paced, but at the same time,
No, it will be, to be fair.
I wanted it to be easy enough for the new people to try and come out of their shell, which in their defence they did. And I even took a bit of charisma from you, Lee, when one person was like, "Yeah, I'm going to back chat this about the Queen's daughter's wonky scarred eye that she's blinded." Even though the entire village has said, by the way, if you want a good, peaceful audience with the Queen, do not say anything about her daughter. It's a very sensitive subject. The last person who did was beheaded.
Divorced, beheaded, died.
What I left out to them was that the Queen was a ex-adventurer who got married to another adventurer who basically got given a plot of land. And she's an ex-barbarian.
Oh,
Nice.
other than the barbarian part, I was going to say, is her name Minthea?
I was gonna say.
No.
You gave
No,
me a
but
barbarian
but
queen, and I'm like,
She had serious Witcher vibes. She had white hair and everything.
Green colour.
Oh,
Which I think I still got the photos somewhere, one sec.
I had a gambling queen on mine.
Hey,
no,
They were all
like,
in the pit in the Colosseum.
Like
Doing a
when I
fun.
first
One
started
second.
like playing D&D, it was like
Yeah, we.
insane to me to be that like out
and-
there. So I just very much appreciate all of the DMs who
Right.
have ever done it.
The first one was the daughter, and the second one was the mother.
Hmm.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh
Which
man,
you can
I like.
see. Which
I
you
like
can see the
mother.
picture with the scarred eye, and then the mother was
Yeah.
basically very Queen-esque looking and very almost Viking-esque as well. And 1 second, I think I got a picture of the father as well. So,
I need to run now because the puppy is not
Okay.
well.
Oh my
So
god, I
need
didn't even
to
realise
go.
what time it was. It's shit.
Yeah, no.
yeah. Really,
Oopsie. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she got
will-
a little burger.
I will say before you all do head out though, thank you as always.
Mm.
Fucking beautiful game.
It was
The-
amazing.
No, thank you.
This is
Thank you.
honestly, and I will keep saying it, the best party that I have ever fucking encountered, and I will never find a better one. Like, holy
Oh.
shit.
But you said that you are the players.
No, I really don't. I fucking hate most people. Like, you each bring your own unique shit, and it helps. As well, I will note, Megan, though
Yeah.
there may not be many opportunities. As well, if you have anything you want me to add for your story or your character, anything, let me know.
Hey man, I've got a
Anything.
document ready for you. Okay.
Yes.
I told you she did.
Yes.
I only realised today. I'm like, holy shit. We worked that out like 2 weeks ago, and I've still not sent it.
I did ask Lee like last week. Oh, did Megan send you that stuff? And he was like, nope.
What?
Okay,
stuff?
you get around to it.
What stuff?
Yeah, it's like today. I'm like, oh shit, it's all ready to go. I've just not done it.
But with in the lights of things, I am thinking about getting back on the old DM bridge. I might do a one shot at some point, and I did say to Lee I will do a one shot where I incorporate him in.
Hmm.
And if you guys are interested at some point, I might even incorporate. Well, I will incorporate you guys and DM you guys, and you guys will have me in the host seat, which will be fucking.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
I'm
good.
up for
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright,
gonna.
well, okay, that gives me motivations to. Oh yeah, Rachel, before you do shoot off, sorry,
Mm.
have your time, and also be breaking your mind with my character. What was that map making site you used or app?
Dungeon Draft and Wonder Draft.
Engine draft and Wonder Draft. Right, 1 second, I'll make note of that.
Don't you pay for Dungeon Draft?
Yep, made note of it.
I got it when it was released really early though, so I got it quite cheap.
Oh, nice.
When it just got out of beta when I got it.
I know Humble's done periods when they've released like loads of DM like map making stuff
Yes.
for like really cheap.
I got some of them. A lot of it is just basic crap that you just have to filter through it. But
Yeah.
there is some really good shit in there.
If you can get it for £1, you know.
Yes.
got-
I'm not going to
are you-
complain.
I used to use had been using Dungeon Beta Studio, but from what Lee has said, that stuff that can be quite complicated compared to some of the programs he's been using.
To be fair though, the thing with it is there's a lot of it that's cost walled now, and I'm just like, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah.
We will call that session.
Alright.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
liked that last time we had a whole session of karaoke and at the bar, and this session everyone's minds got fucking blown.
Thanks for the next week of sleepless nights.
You're
Cheers.
welcome.
You do realise we're going to be playing League at some point, Lee, and Rachel's just at some point going to go in tangents, going, "Who's my father?"
Tell me the truth or I won't fucking heal you and leave you to die, you filthy pleb. Tell me the truth.
It's just who's my daddy?
Ooh.
Oh, he will be like, "Where's my kitty?" And Rachel will be like, "Where's my dad?"
Yeah. And on that lovely note,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
My daddy is.
Good night, everybody.
With them.